Today, mermaids are often seen as symbols of beauty and kindness.
Beauty, yes. Kindness, no. They're pretty much water harpies.
Stories like Hans Christian Andersen's The Little Mermaid, and modern versions like
Even the Little Mermaid's pretty dark as hell.
Disney's Ariel.
What's up, everybody? Celtic Jericho here, back with another reaction. Get those 10s and 20 views. This one is literally being recorded at 11 a.m. and I uploaded at 12:15. I was lazy as hell yesterday on my day off. So today I'm going to be a lot more productive. I'm going to record, edit, post this, go to my local Target, come and get a new external hard drive, because I'm going to preserve a lot of old Monday Night Raws, and I forgot I only had one external hard drive for that, so I need a second. But anyway, today we are reacting to something I thoroughly enjoy, and it is Mythology. This is a channel I came across purely by accident, so I did what any logical reaction channel would do. I opened in a new tab and set it aside until the day I was going to record. As I get everything set up. There we go. Had to find the whole channel is called Mythic Hunter. 12K subscribers. Hopefully, he's good. If he's good, he'll get another subscriber. Hopefully, then my weird community will also go check him out. This one is called The Dark Side of Quote Unquote Harmless. Mythical creatures explained in 12 minutes. Yeah, I know the dark side of a lot of these. I have not watched it, but it's like leprechauns are not nice. It's like there's a lot of things that. Sorry, Emily's in the background. If I get that. Like a lot of mythical creatures are seemed nice. They're some of them are really no bueno. Can't keep my chair. But let's get to it.
Think of dwarves. They imagine skilled blacksmiths and wise craftsmen from fantasy stories. Heroes forging legendary weapons like Thor's hammer or guiding adventurers on epic quests. Pop culture, from The Lord of the Rings to video games, has turned them into proud, noble beings.
They were, I think, very I think Baldur's Gate has probably one of the better not Baldur's Gate, Dragon's Age. Proud, always mocking the other races, drunks.
But their original story in Norse mythology? It's much darker and a little disgusting. According to the Prose Edda, dwarves didn't start out as mastersmiths or magical beings. They began as maggots. Yes, actual crawling worms, feeding on the rotting flesh of the giant Ymir, whose corpse formed the world itself. The gods looked at these
God loves Norse mythology of just, no. Bugs.
Squirming creatures and, instead of destroying them, decided to give them human-like intelligence and form. They were pushed down into the earth, where they became the cunning, secretive dwarves we know from the myths.
Actually, it's really not that bad. That's not as dark as it could have been, to be honest. Leprechauns are technically fairies, just throwing it out there.
When most people picture a leprechaun, they see a harmless little man in green, dancing under a rainbow with a pot of gold. But in Irish folklore, he's something far more dangerous.
Ooh, very pretty Celtic knot. We'll say that. We named Celtic Scarecrow with at least one Celtic tattoo, as of now. You gotta appreciate it.
Dangerous. A solitary craftsman of the fairy world, cleverer than any human, and utterly devoted to protecting what's his. He makes shoes for the Aos Sea, and every coin he earns goes into a hidden hoard, guarded with cunning and an illusion. They say if you catch a leprechaun, you can force him to give up his treasure, or grant you 3 wishes. But there's a catch. He'll grant them exactly as you ask.
Oh yeah, they're very hubris of wish. If you're like, I want $1 million. Here's 1 million male deer. I want 1,000. I want all the dough. Yeah, here's a lot of dough.
Twisting them until they ruin you. Wish for endless gold, and you might find it flooding your house until it crushes you under its weight. Wish to be rich forever, and you might discover you're immortal but trapped alone, watching everyone you love wither away. Some tales even say a leprechaun might hand you the gold outright, only for it to turn into ashes.
Well, yeah, you have that in Harry Potter too. J.K. Rowling did a lot of like keeping it pretty close to actual mythology, where it's like it's leprechaun's gold, which means it vanishes after a few minutes. It's like you think you got like all this gold, but it's just gonna vanish
The moment you touch it.
Another morning to savour the crunchy nooks and cranny splendour of a Thomas's English muffin.
Tom, which is a nook and...
Actually, what my dad had for breakfast.
When most people think of brownies, they imagine
Again, it's still another fairy. They are relatives of the leprechauns, which is kind of crazy to think of.
harmless little helpers, tiny, kind spirits sneaking around at night to finish your chores. Stories from children's books and pop culture turn them into friendly, almost adorable creatures, like magical housekeepers who just love to help. Sounds perfect, right? But the brownies of old Scottish folklore? They weren't cute. They weren't even safe. Traditional tales describe
Yeah, if I remember correctly, it's like you had to trap them there. Like you had to like make a deal with them or something. But if you double crossed them, oof, they would be very vicious. No, the Supernatural had leprechauns.
them as powerful, unpredictable spirits. Sure, they'd help with farm work or cleaning, but only if they were treated with absolute respect. Give them gifts of food like cream or honey, and they'd stay happy. But insult them, mock them, or, worst of all, offer them clothes, and you'd regret it. A slighted
Yeah, I definitely think that's what Dobby, what they based the house elves off of, was actual the brownies myth, because you notice they don't want clothes, and that's how you free a house elf.
brownie might vanish forever, leaving your home cursed with bad luck.
Oh, much like a house elf. Just saying, this is what Dobby was. He was a brownie elf.
Or transform into something far worse, a Bogart. And Bogarts didn't just refuse to help, they brought chaos,
I didn't realize that's where Bogarts came from, but that was definitely not in that Harry Potter lore, but it would make sense.
sickness, and destruction to anyone who angered them. So, while brownies might seem like helpful little neighbors, Scottish folklore reminds us of one thing. You don't own them, and you definitely don't control them.
You don't disrespect the help. That's another big thing. It's just like I said, the brownie easily is what Dobby was. Likes to help, doesn't want to work for much, don't disrespect them. If you give them clothes, they could vanish forever. Mermaids are not... their whole mythology is nothing but dark.
Today, mermaids are often seen as symbols of beauty and kindness.
Beauty, yes. Kindness, no. They're pretty much water harpies.
Stories like Hans Christian Andersen's The Little Mermaid, and modern versions like
Even the Little Mermaid's pretty dark as hell.
Disney's Ariel show them as curious, gentle, and even heroic, longing for love or a better life. These images have made mermaids seem harmless, even friendly. But in older myths, mermaids were anything but innocent.
Curious, yes, but they would grab all the humans and then just bring them down to their world, which the pressure alone would unalive you. And that's cool. Dude, if you're doing your own artwork, well done. If you have an AI generator, I need to know it because I have a very funny video idea that need some good work.
Across European folklore, they were tied to storms, shipwrecks, and death at sea. Sailors believed a mermaid's song could lure them off course,
No, that was the sirens. Yeah. Oh,
leading to their drowning or their ship's destruction. In
yeah, harpies were the bird versions of them, yeah.
some legends, mermaids dragged men underwater to their deaths or foretold disaster with their appearance alone. Scottish and Irish tales speak of selkies and marrows who could
Let's say Selkies were not as mean, but the Marrows, woo.
turn cruel, while ballads like Sir Patrick Spens link their presence to unavoidable tragedy. In short, the mermaids of ancient lore were as dangerous as they were beautiful, enchanting to
Yeah, and that is a really cool photo. But yeah, no. Basically, like you gotta think of like they had to be if they're like similar to like the Little Mermaid. Like imagine say she wanted John Smith to herself, and he just like fell in the water, and then she dragged him down to the bottom of the ocean. Well, guess what? Human cannot tolerate that big of a pressure or breathe down there.
Behold, but symbols of the unpredictable and deadly power of the sea. When you think of the Tooth Fairy, you
It is the smaller, distant cousin of a much larger fairy known as the Bone Fairy, who definitely don't like
probably
people.
picture a tiny glittery figure sneaking under pillows, trading teeth for coins. It feels innocent, even comforting. But the origins of this tradition are far older and much darker than most people realize. For centuries, many cultures believed teeth carried power even after they left your body. In Europe, people would burn or bury a child's lost teeth so witches couldn't use them for curses. In
Okay, I did not know that. That's pretty crazy.
parts of Asia and Africa, teeth were hidden or fed to animals to keep evil spirits from finding them.
What animal is eating a tooth? And Africa did not have wolves.
Even Norse warriors carried children's teeth as good luck charms in battle, a practice called tandfay.
Okay, that I can understand. You want your like something that you can bring of your child, and you don't want to bring hair. Still disgusting. Still highly disgusting. But for the Norse, kind of practical.
Tooth fee, which may be the earliest version of paying for a tooth. The modern tooth fairy is just a soft, modern spin on these beliefs. Instead of a glowing pixie, the original idea was simple but unsettling. Get the teeth out of the house before something else does.
Yeah, I have nothing for that one. Oh, if you're going to Halloween or the Jack Lantern, oh, Festival of Samhain, such a great tale. Basically, it's evil version of the Day of the Dead. Like, oh look, spirits are coming. We're gonna need masks and treasure and things so they don't possess or take us to the underworld.
When you hear the word jack-o'-lantern,
Oh, you're going Jack of the Lantern. Stingy Jack. Tricked the devil twice so that, and ended up making a deal with the devil, which got him banned from heaven and hell, set to wander earth with one eternal coal flame.
you probably think of cheerful pumpkins glowing on Halloween night.
Actually, the original jack-o'-lanterns were squashes, which are extra terrifying if you look at the old drawings of those. Look, Google original jack-o'-lanterns. They're creepy. Here's an image of one.
Cute decorations meant to welcome trick-or-treaters. But the
Yeah, it's Jack of the Lantern.
real legend behind this symbol, a lot darker than you might expect. The name comes from an old Irish tale about a man called Stingy Jack. According to folklore, Jack was a clever but wicked trickster who even managed to outsmart the devil, not
Twice.
once, but several times. But his schemes backfired. When Jack finally died,
So basically, the I want to say the one tale was he made a deal with the devil to pay for his drink, and so the devil turned into a coin, so he put it in his pocket with a cross in it. The devil couldn't then do nothing against the cross, so he made a deal saying, "Come back for me in like 10 years or something. Give me 10 more years, and then I will go." This he's like, "Fine, deal." And then second time he tricked the devil to go up a tree and carve a cross on the tree, stopping him from coming down, and that pretty much banned him from heaven and hell.
heaven refused to let him in because of his sinful life, and hell refused him too, because the devil, still bitter from being tricked, didn't want him either. Condemned to wander the earth forever, Jack was given only a single burning coal from hell to light his way. He placed it inside a hollowed-out turnip.
Told you, the original jack-o'-lantern was a turnip. They are creepier than any jack-o'-lantern.
Becoming the ghostly figure known as Jack of the Lantern. Irish families carved their own lanterns to scare away his restless spirit, a tradition that eventually turned into the glowing pumpkins we know today. So the next time you see a jack-o'-lantern smiling on someone's porch, remember, it's not just a decoration. It's a warning of a cursed soul.
The whole festival of Halloween is cursed, my man. It was the original festival of Samhain. You know, people left out treats for demons so they wouldn't possess them. They would dress up as monsters so the demons couldn't see that they're human and steal their souls. It's like Halloween's dark.
doomed to roam in the dark forever. When most people picture
Oh, okay, Harry Potter fans, I'm going to warn you. He might explain why Umbridge really hates centaurs.
centaurs, they imagine noble, wise creatures, half human, half horse, living in harmony with nature. And to be fair, myths like the story of Chiron, the legendary teacher of heroes, helped create that image. Chiron was intelligent, kind, and deeply respected by gods and mortals alike. But here's the truth. Chiron was the exception, not the rule. In most Greek myths, centaurs were wild, violent, and ruled by their instincts. They roamed the mountains, drank heavily.
Who made this? I want to see this character in a video game. Okay, I'm going to throw this out there, just throw it out there. Why have we not had a video game where we are a centaur warrior conquering shit? I want this as a game. I want a game where I am a centaur. I am half man, half horse, half buff-ass chick, half horse, whatever you want to go with. Just let me be a game where I'm just a warrior. Like, the myth, that would be such a fun game, because you gotta figure, you can't ride a horse. Well, you probably can ride a horse, but not in the way you normally would. Like, you are your own means of transportation, and if it's the mythology of, like, this version of centaurs, but be kind of fun.
And often attacked travelers. Their most infamous moment came during the Centauromachy, a bloody battle that broke out at the wedding of Pirithous, king of the Lapiths. The centaurs got drunk, tried to abduct the bride and other women, and sparked a massacre. Heroes like Theseus had to step in just to stop the chaos, and many centaurs were slaughtered as a result. So while pop culture sometimes paints them as wise mentors, ancient Greeks saw centaurs as a warning. They embodied what happens when reason is overpowered by raw, untamed desire.
Oh, he's not going to mention what centaurs do? Yeah, allegedly, according to mythology, centaurs would capture women and gang rape them. Yep. And they're a horse. So I hope you heard the thud. That's about the best I can do in VTuber mode. Kitsunas. One. Well done, good sir. Definitely an array of mythologies. Dwarves, you went Norse, couple Celtics, you got Roman, now you're pulling in the Japanese mythology? Okay, here we go.
Clever, charming, maybe even romantic. These magical foxes are often shown as loyal companions or mysterious lovers who can transform into beautiful women. And it's true. Japanese folklore does include stories of kitsune wives who care deeply for their human husbands and even bring them good fortune. But
That's only if they really like you. They don't like you.
older myths show another side to these fox spirits, one that's far more dangerous. In classical tales, especially about Nogitsune, wild foxes, kitsune are master tricksters. They use illusions to confuse travelers, conjuring ghostly lights called kitsunebi to lead people astray.
They're basically will-o'-wisp, firefox. It's the same theory. It's the same thing as the Irish myth of will-o'-wisp. They're pretty much ghost fires that send people down the wrong paths.
Some stories tell of kitsune who take the form of enchanting women, not out of love, but to deceive men and bring about their ruin, sometimes causing
That goddamn flower. If you ever see an anime that has that flower in like the intro and outro, there's going to be a lot of unaliving and sadness.
illness, madness, or even death through their manipulations. And in darker legends, a kitsune might impersonate a priest or official, using their disguise to spread misfortune and chaos without anyone realizing. In Japanese mythology, kitsune are both
So they're like a cruel woman.
beautiful and dangerous, a reminder that not everything magical has good intentions.
Now we're going back to the fairies. Like I said, technically leprechauns are fairies.
When you think of fairies,
So are the borrowers.
what do you picture? Tiny, sparkling creatures with butterfly wings. Playful, harmless, maybe even helpful.
Harmless my ass.
Thanks to stories like Tinker Bell or the Fairy Godmother,
Tinkerbell was not harmless. She was a diva. I will vanish if I don't get enough attention. God, that's not harmless. Also, she was very mean to Wendy and her brothers.
They've become symbols of whimsy and innocence. But the fairies our ancestors feared, they were nothing like that. In Irish mythology, the Aos Sea, literally the people of the mounds, were powerful supernatural beings believed to descend from the Tuatha De Danann, ancient gods who were
How many times you had to practice saying that, my man?
treated into the
Also, you can tell he's not doing AI voice because of you can hear the actual pronunciation because they would have butchered that if that was AI.
other world. They weren't sweet companions, they were
Again, where are you getting this artwork done? It is gorgeous.
forces to be respected and feared. Offer them reverence, and they might bless you. Cross them, and you could lose everything. Across
Oh, you're not going to go with Titania, the fairy queen, or whatever her husband's name was, who was a definite playboy. Look at the old world.
Irish and wider European folklore, these beings were infamous for abductions. Tales warned that fairies might steal human children, leaving behind a frail changeling in its place. Families lived in real terror of this, sometimes taking desperate and tragic measures to drive out the fairy. And it wasn't just children. Adults could be taken too, lured into the otherworld, where time flowed differently and escape was rare.
Yeah, the Fae realm for all you D&D players. Yeah, the Fae is real, and yeah, it's based off fairies.
So while modern culture makes fairies sparkle, the Aos Sea of old were beautiful. Yes, but dangerous. Not creatures you played with, but beings you prayed you never offended.
Yeah, a lot of the Irish mythology was a lot of these creatures are harmless if you respect them. You don't respect them, sorry, we'll get in touch with your next of kin. I see genies and I see angels. Like I said, again, very well wide range of things. Oh, they're actually going with the proper turn of Jinn. Wow.
This your bag, sir?
And we got another ad. But yeah, a lot of Celtic and Irish mythologies was don't fuck with the unknown.
When most people hear genie, they picture a friendly wish granter, thanks to stories like Aladdin. But in a
They're a lot like the leprechauns, though. Very hubris. Very, very much into hubris. Like, if they actually granted it all. Supernatural had a crazy thing where they put you in a... you want a good example of the Jinn? Watch Supernatural, where they capture people, put them in the dream world, thinks that like all their dreams are coming true, but in reality they're about to be eaten.
Arabian and Islamic tradition, the beings we call genies are actually jinn, and they're far more complex and far more dangerous. According to the Quran 55:15,
Wow, you go. I would say I saw an angel, so yeah, you're going with religious intent. So
jinn were created from smokeless fire, making them older and more powerful than humans. They live in the same world we do, but remain unseen, often dwelling in deserts, ruins, and other lonely places.
okay, Supernatural. Yeah, this is the same thing that Supernatural did.
Unlike angels, jinn have free will. They can be righteous or wicked, helpful or destructive. Some follow God, while others, like Iblis, rebel. Folklore and religious texts alike warn of their dangers. In many traditions, angering a jinn can lead to misfortune, illness, madness, or even possession. A belief reflected in exorcism rituals, ruqya, still practiced today. Pre-Islamic and regional
I think that's how they got the whole genie of the lamp, was they were literally trapping jinns into objects to stop them from like harming people.
stories add even darker traits, describing jinn who deceive travelers, cause storms, or strike back at humans who trespass on their territory. And that idea of three wishes? That's mostly a Western invention. In the original Aladdin story from 1001 Nights, itself,
Oh yeah, what the? Oh god. One also, why are they making Princess Jasmine Japanese or Asian?
a blend of Arabic, Persian, and Indian tales, the jinn is more a powerful servant than a cheerful friend. Older myths rarely promise safe bargains. So, far from the playful blue spirit we know from cartoons, the true jinn of Arabian folklore are unpredictable forces of fire and shadow, beautiful powerful, and capable of turning blessings into curses.
Oh, we're going with angels. One, very rarely did angels in mythology had like wings and the halo. They were definitely warriors. They would more smiting than anything.
When most people picture angels, they think of gentle guardians, glowing figures with white robes, halos, and soft smiles.
No, no.
They're seen as protectors, messengers of hope, and symbols of pure goodness. But if you look at the original texts, the reality of angels is far more intense.
Also, that's words. Christ, how do we decipher that? Looks like lines.
And honestly, terrifying. In the Bible and other ancient writings, angels are not just sweet celestial beings. They are forces of divine power. Seraphim, for example, are described in Isaiah as having 6 wings and a body of fire, crying, "Holy, holy, holy," so loudly it shakes the temple walls. The Ophanim from Ezekiel's vision are even strange.
God, that is cool as hell looking. Also, again, I want this creature in a video game where I'm playing as a centaur. That would be fun to do.
Vast wheels within wheels, covered in countless eyes, blazing like molten metal as they move wherever the spirit commands. And in books like Enoch, angels can be instruments of destruction, bringing plagues, floods, or visions so overwhelming
The 4 horsemen.
that prophets fall on their faces in fear. These beings weren't created to comfort humans. They were created to carry out divine will, no matter how terrifying it might look. The truth? Angels in their original form are less cute cherubs with harps, and more cosmic warriors, burning wheels and living storms of light. Beautiful, yes, but absolutely deadly.
Good video, good video. I will give him a subscribe. No, good video. I kind of wish he ended it a little differently, you know, like, and there you have it. What's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 mythological creatures and their truer, darker past. You know, something just to give it a little bit of a, you know, a kick to it. But overall, it's a good video. And like I said, you can tell he's not using AI voice because of the fact that it's like he's trying to, he had to take time in those pronunciations, so it is. But yeah, good video, good video. But I do think he kind of skimmed a little bit on a few like the crazier details of each one, like dwarves, how they just pretty much shun anything that's not dwarf. Not point out the fact that you have leprechauns, brownies, and fairies, and not mention that technically all 3, the other 2 are also fairies. They're just subspecies of it. You also have Jack-o'-lantern, the centaurs, being very forceful on women. Yeah, so good video. I do think he did go with a very simple version of East mythology. But that's it. Go check out Myth Hunter, and go check out some of his other videos. But that's it. That's all I have. I'll see you weird people later.